And notice too, you guys, you see Tesla here, basically this quad top. You see how every single time it comes up here and it pulls back? Don't we buy puts on resistance and calls on support, right? When we're scalping?
Yes, sir. Got 10 of them.
Yes, we do.
Yep. So you guys see it every single time it has paid, right? And see how it keeps going off of VWAP? So right there. So VIP members, look at your channel. See it? There's your buy, there's your sell, there's your buy, there's your sell, there's your buy, there's your sell, there's your buy, there's your sell until eventually pop or drop, right? Okay, good. I wouldn't hold any weight on it until after it can break and hold VWAP to give me any type of to the upside. Because right now, if you look at the overall trend, it is to the downside. Even if it shows that it's bounced, if it can't break VWAP and hold, it's going to come straight back down, right? So if we start buying
Yeah,
into
that makes sense.
calls, yeah. So if we start buying into calls right here in the middle, this is what I like to call the middle, meaning we're not at the bottom and we're not at the top of this, where this channel is, which in this case is 177.19, or right here on VWAP 177, it looks like 48, 41. We're in the middle of it. I don't buy in the middle. I need to get definitive one way or the other. So I wouldn't look at this until we're up in here or until we're below here. Does that make sense? Or if you guys remember, because isn't VWAP going to act like resistance? We can buy puts when it touches VWAP as well, right? Which is the opposite of what you think, because you're like, yeah, but it's trending to the upside. Well, wrong. Those are puts with a stop above VWAP, right? Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
It's opposite of whatever you think, which is wild. You're like, but Apple's going to the moon, right? So everybody's like, yay. Well, the professional traders are seeing VWAP, and we're going to buy shorts and puts to drive it right back here. See it? And then, of course, just have your stop above it, give it a little bit of breathing room, because it could have a little candle pop through, like, right? Like, oh, it really is going to the, oh, no, boom. So it's the opposite of what everybody would think, right? As retail traders, right? You just think it's going in one position and you're like, that's the bottom. I want it. And then it goes, no, it ain't. So we have to watch these key critical areas to see what it wants to do. Great question, though. I love it. And, here's the thing. If you'd have caught this, closer inside of here, you could. Again, though, I would highly go against that. Everything in my being would tell you not to be doing that, because you are looking at completely against the grain to the upside, right? Because this is, everything is down. So if we're in here at all playing around with the upside move, you could just get hammered on a big nasty pull like you saw Tesla do, right? So now Apple obviously doesn't typically have long candles like you see here, but it could, right? You don't want to be like, yeah, this is the move, and then bleed out. So it's just more dangerous. If you look at the 2-minute EWO, this will also start to help. You guys can see down here that this is fading, right? So there were all your sellers, and then it starts to drop off. And you see how it's starting to close the gap here, getting ready for a color change. This will be the other way, right? So if you get a nice color change here and you are above VWAP, beautiful. If you get a color change and you're anywhere near this area, don't touch it. You don't touch that until it breaks VWAP. I don't care if the 2-minute EWO is sitting right here or here or here or here. Don't touch that until it's right here, because you're so close to VWAP. Yeah, it will wreck your soul, because, one giant pull, right, will wipe out, 40, 50% of that option in, 10 seconds. So you got to be very careful with options and what you're doing and when you enter these. I don't want people blindly going into 2 minutes when that is not what I teach. I have never taught you that. You never do that. It has to make sense. Just like we don't hold it for a loss if it's not making sense, right? If we were in a put and it pops above VWAP, we ain't touching that, right? That's like, that's bad news if it holds up here. Now, if anybody's still in, I didn't even think about this. You guys might still be in there with their diamond hands. If you guys are in Apple 2-minute EWO, right, on these pullbacks, you want to shed, right? So let's take a look. So if you shed here, I wouldn't have blamed you 50. Shed in here, I wouldn't have blamed you 20. If you were still panicking in here, 20, but you still got some. You don't get out of it all, right?
Yes,
Because
sir.
because the end all be all is going to be here above VWAP. And I don't mean just a little candle pops through and you're like, oh, I'm scared, I'm getting out. And then it goes the way it was you've been in it and you're like, oh no. So nobody should be panicking. By the way, if you'd have bought your 2-minute EWO, you'd have been in here. You're still way up. Even now, you're still way up. Yes. So don't panic